Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of energy upgrade here for the Guru. We're going to change the lamps in these fluorescent fixtures from good old fluorescent lamps to LED lamps. So we're just going to walk through step by step what we're doing. We've purchased some LED lamps that are the direct replacement for these, except you have to divorce the ballast. So we're going to walk through safely divorcing the ballast, rewiring the fixture, and putting LED lamps in. And when we're done, Guru is going to show you some before and after pictures of what it really looks like in this shop with the old dingy, inefficient lights and the new efficient LED lights. So first thing we want to do is we want to turn the power off on our system. So at the end of this, we're going to go over the formulas for the energy savings, because this isn't all about better light. It's about saving a little ching in your pocket too on your energy bill. But we'll walk through step by step how much energy the old lamps use, how much energy the new lamps use, and take a quick cost estimate savings at what the reduction is going to be in the energy and the reduction in the bill. So with that, the first thing we want to do is kill the power to our system.
Wow, that was amazing.
Amazing. Okay, we're going to remove our fluorescent lamps, and we're going to be very careful. Although these are newer lamps, so they're not high mercury content, they do have a very slight amount of mercury in them. So you don't want to bust these, because if you get cut by that glass, then bad things can happen, like infections and so forth. So be very careful. Now, the fixture itself comes apart. These are relatively easy. So there could be a turnbuckle here, there could be a screw here, some other device to hold this. These particular fixtures just have a snap. So you're going to pull it down, slide it forward a little bit, and take this down. Now, this exposes the ballast, which is very warm right now because that's an energy pig, and the wiring for the fixtures. This is the first fixture in a row of fixtures. We're going to do this one. We're actually going to do the whole shop, but by starting here, we can work our way down.
So you showed me the ballast, and then I zeroed in on it there a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're going to disconnect the ballast.
We are going to disconnect the ballast.
Okay. And you don't have to take it out of there. Just disconnect it. It's not going to draw energy. Cool.
No wires, no energy.
Wow. Looks like a little bit of spaghetti up in there, though.
It is a little bit.
All right.
Okay. So, this is our ground.
We did disconnect the power, right?
Yes, we did.
Oh, good.
You saw the light go out, didn't you?
I did.
And that's a good question, because when it comes to electricity, don't even trust your own grandmother if she says the power's off. You make sure yourself that that power is off.
So you trusted the Compressor Guru to do that?
I trusted the light going out. And there's nobody near my switch.
Okay.
Okay, if I were in a busy place, I would lock that switch out. And they make devices for that. Okay, so we're going to disconnect the power going to the ballast.
How do you identify that power going to the ballast?
By the black and the red wire, or black and the white wire. The white wire is your neutral wire, which we just disconnected. This is going to the ballast. We don't need that any longer, so we're simply going to get it out of our road. And the white wire's going.
And that won't hurt anything up in there that you just cut it.
It won't let any power go to the ballast.
Okay.
Okay, but we have wires going to this end of the fixture, 2 yellow wires. We're going to remove those from the ballast, like so.
Are they all these colors inside?
They are, for the most part, all these colors inside.
Okay, so the yellows are no
Possible
good.
you'll run into something different, but for the most part, you're going to have yellow wires, black and white wires, and red and blue wires. Red and blue wires are back here.
Now, why are
We'll
they-
get to them.
Why are they red and blue?
So you can differentiate the wires and you know what they're doing coming from the ballast.
So
For our
red-
purposes, it doesn't matter.
But red and blue wires were running the fluorescent before.
Right. The red and blue wires are going to run the LED now. We're going to give them a different source. We're taking the ballast away.
So far you cut the yellow wires that went to the ballast.
Yep.
You cut the white wire that went to the ballast.
Yeah.
And you cut a black wire.
Right.
And they were all on the same end of the ballast.
All on the same end of the ballast.
And that was the end that was giving it power.
That was the end that was the black and the white wires are the power wires.
Okay.
Okay. The yellow wires are the output wires that drive the fluorescent lamp. You have wires going to that end of the tube. You have wires going to that end of the tube from the ballast. That sets up the energy to run the fluorescent tube. We're going to change this so it sets up the energy to run 120 volt AC LED tube. Okay?
Okay.
Completely divorce the ballast. So, what we're going to do is these are the 2 yellow wires going to this end of the fixture. We're going to strip those back a little bit. Shut out my own light.
Want me to turn them on?
No. Thanks though. Thanks for the offer. There we go. And this one. Okay. And we're going to put these 2 right in with the white wire. So that is now going to be the neutral side of our light, of our LED light.
So you're putting yellow and white together.
Yep. 2 yellows in with the white.
And what are you using? One of those little bottle caps?
One little bottle caps. There you go.
Yeah.
But we ain't got no wire nuts.
Oh.
It's a wire nut.
Okay.
Okay.
So you didn't have to use black electrical tape on it either.
We did not.
Okay.
There are only certain times when you want to put black electrical tape on your wire nuts, and that's in a vibration environment, like in a motor peckerhead or something like that.
Okay. I have to stop for a minute. Are you going to leave the peckerhead in there?
Does it have another name?
No.
That's what it is.
Okay.
So when you're ready to go, I have questions.
When I'm ready to go.
Right, yeah, when you're ready to be, this didn't cut, but
Yeah.
are you ready for questions?
Well, you can ask me anytime at all. I don't care.
Okay, I have questions.
Yes.
You divorce the ballast of the power.
Right.
The next thing you do, you're working with strippers. It sounds like this light has a bad home life with strippers involved and divorce of the ballast.
Yeah, how about it?
God hates
What-
divorce.
What a mind I'm working with.
So is everything
Okay, now-
tied? Is everything tied off there now on this
No.
end? No.
On
okay.
which end?
This one.
No. You still have a black wire dangling here. There's
Yeah.
got nothing going on, see?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, see? You're not just your average bear.
I know. I knew it was there. I was checking you.
Above average camera wife. I said camera wife. Okay, now we're going to the other side of the ballast. We have 2 red wires, 2 blue wires. We're cutting those bad boys off. And we're going to stretch them right up along here, nice and gently. Okay, and now we're going to go back to those strippers, and we're going to strip these back just a little bit.
For the record, I know how to do this part.
Strip the wire.
Yeah, because Dad taught us that when we were kids.
There you go. That was so you could make money on the copper.
It was.
Oh, there we go. I may have to invest in a new pair of strippers. However, and we're going to take this black wire that we cut away from the ballast, again, which this is your 120 volt source power. This is the hot side of your 120 volt. Right now it's not hot, but, and what we're going to do is we're going to combine all 5 of these wires so that
So you have 2 reds, 2 blues, and the black.
2 reds, 2 blues, and the black. And what are we going to use to put them together with?
A wire nut.
A wire nut. There you go. So we're going to put them together with a wire nut.
So as I pull back, I see that black one is coming out of another wire nut of 2 black wires.
Oh, I know.
Why were there 3 of those in the beginning?
This is your source power coming in. This was the source power going to your ballast.
Yes.
This is the source power going to the next fixture in line.
Oh.
So the power runs from this system to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And when you turn the switch on, you light the whole row of lights.
I see.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Now, what we're going to do is nicely tuck these wires back up inside so that we can put the cover back on.
So it doesn't really matter where they go up in there, but they have to go alongside the ballast because it's in the middle.
Right?
There's the ballast you're going around. Easy for me to say, right?
It is easy for you to say. It's not the easiest place to work on this fixture. However, now when you put the cover back on, one of the things that we saved a little time on here is we're not going to clean the cover back up because the new LED lights are directional. The lights were taken down, give light in 360 degrees. So if we were putting the fluorescent tubes back in, we would want to clean this fixture very good so we help the reflectance of the light.
Even though you're in a garage, you still want it to be clean.
You still want the reflectance of the light. The dirt on there absorbs light.
Would it work if you put aluminum foil on it?
Not a good idea.
Okay.
Okay. Although it's shiny, they make, you know, mirrored reflectors.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, it depends on what you're doing with the light.
Because those
There's
lights got hot anyway, didn't they?
Yes.
Are these lights going to be hot?
These lights are going to be just a little bit warm on the power supply end. So,
Okay.
but when you reinstall this cover, there's a clip up here on this end. It's going to go in underneath. Like that, slides in there. As we put it up, we're going to make sure we aren't pinching any wires, and we're just going to snap it in place. That completes our conversion from a ballasted fixture to a no ballast fixture. So now
Show the back
we're going to
show the back side of that so they see it doesn't give light all the way around. I'm sorry.
Can you edit this?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to? Do you want to do this? It has an end on the tube that will rotate so that you can get both ends lined up with the contact points in your fixture. This tube has the LEDs on this side and a clear face, and as you rotate it, this is a reflective back, which does not let any light go up. All your light's coming down in your new fixtures or in your new tubes. So now we're going to put these in place.
So I'm glad you're showing me that. It was really hard to see. I don't know how it's going to come out on the camera, but it was hard to see the two sides of that because they basically look the same, but I know they're not.
You want to set your tube in both ends. This is the compression end, push on it, and it gives you space to put the other one in. Rotate it just a little bit to make sure it seats on both sides, on the contact points. And these are not directional. They can go in either way, so there is no left or right. But we're going to, again, put it in here. This side compresses. Can you see that?
Okay, show me how it compresses.
This side compresses. Once you put the tube in against the contacts, this side compresses and it allows the space so you can bring the other end up in to fit on the contacts. And again, a little twist, and you hear the end snap, snap into the detents. That should really complete the install of these new tubes. What we're going to do now is the scary part, and that's where you prove to yourself that you did a good job. So we should turn the power back on, and wow.
It's pretty powerful, huh?
Wish I had that light to work by. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to work on these fixtures, get them all converted, get new LED tubes in them. So we'll be back in a few minutes and we'll explain the savings in energy and the savings in cost, so that you know the difference between the old fixtures and the new fixtures.
So one of the things I can see from my angle is the light on the left is the LED. The light on the right is just your regular fluorescent bulb, correct?
Fluorescent bulb.
Okay, so when you were describing the fluorescent bulb, it lights the entire way around.
It emits light.
It emits light the whole way around.
Yes.
I can see how much lighter the ceiling is above it. Whereas on the LED, there is definitely a shadow out as far as where that, as you said, across the back of it, it had a reflective thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not, I can't see the top of the light bulb over here.
Yep.
But I can see the top of the fluorescent bulb over there.
Yep.
Is it a bulb or a lamp?
It's actually a tube. But
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to take the camera and swoop down here so you can see. As he said, that was the first fixture in a line.
so now that we have the lights installed, we're going to take some time and walk you back through the numbers on this project. So our goal was to change the lights in the building, to do it as economically as possible, and save some money going forward. So we're going to walk you through the real quick numbers on energy, on our project cost, and show you a little bit of savings on the tail end, which really makes it worthwhile because we really did get a lot more light out of this project. So our old fluorescent fixtures, okay? So our old fluorescent tubes, and we'll go up here and call it a fluorescent tube. And those tubes, when installed, are 110 watts each. And we get 2 tubes per fixture. And in that fixture, we also have a ballast, which is part of the energy equation because the power goes to the ballast and then it goes to the fluorescent tubes. If you remember when we converted the fixtures, we cut that ballast out of there so it's gone. But that ballast is about 36 watts.
Question. Is that 36 watts per fixture?
Per fixture.
Okay.
1 ballast, 2 tubes, 1 fixture. In our shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we got basically, 256 watts when we turn on each fixture. And in our shop, we have 13 fixtures.
I like that, our shop.
So doing the simple math, 3328. And when you talk about the energy that you get billed for, you get billed in kilowatts. And that's basically 1,000 watts. So if we divide this by 1,000, we got 3.3 kilowatts. Okay? So the energy it used to take to burn the lights is the kilowatts times our kilowatt per hour charge. Now, if you look at your electric bill, it's going to tell you how much you pay per kilowatt hour. Okay, kWh. And we'll show you a snippet of ours, but the cost per kilowatt hour in our area is going to sound rather cheap to some of you guys when you look at your bill, but it's 9.16 cents a kilowatt hour. Cents, that's going to tell us how much it cost us to run these lights for an hour in the shop.
30.48. 7.
30.49
rounded up.
cents. So for every hour the lights are on in the shop, it costs us 30 cents.
But Eric, now that we have all new LED lamps in here, bulbs in here, tubes in here, what do I call them?
They're bulbs. Believe
Now
it or
that
not.
I have all new LED bulbs in here, what's it going to cost me an hour now?
Well, first we got to figure out how much energy it takes us with the new fixtures in. So when we look at our LED bulbs, okay, the new bulbs are 72 watts a piece, and we have 2 of them in there, so that's 144 watts. There is no ballast. Okay, the LED bulb that we replaced the fluorescent tube with, that bulb has its own power supply in it, so it's all part of the equation. So 72 watts is 72 watts. So now we're burning 144 watts per fixture. Times our 13 fixtures yields us 1.872 kilowatts. And we're paying the same for our energy, so we're going to take that times 9.161 cents, 17.15 cents per hour to run our lamps. Let's talk about the cost of our project. We started out with fluorescent lamps, fluorescent tubes, and a ballast. Looking at the cost of what it would take to replace those, because in reality they need to be replaced every 2 to 3 years in order to maintain good light in the building. So the fluorescent tubes need to go. On average, you're going to lose 1 or 2 ballasts, but we said, all right, let's just say we're going to replace our 26 tubes, fluorescent tubes. So our new tubes are going to cost us approximately $10 per tube. We have 26. Just the cost of the tubes alone is $260. And this was just to replace it.
And we needed some ballast replaced also, but we didn't have to do that because these ballasts are 22 years old now. That's why they come on in their own rhythm.
So let's look at what we spent to put the LEDs in. So the LEDs we were able to buy for $18.83 a piece. So we had 26 of those. There you go, $490.
So that's a difference of $230.
It is.
How long is it gonna take me to make up that over cost in electric savings?
Well, it really depends on how long you're gonna burn those lamps. Okay?
The rest of my life.
The rest of your life is truly the payback. But we upgraded the light per square foot in the shop. So it's a much brighter shop to work in. That's a benefit. If you wanted to maintain the same, you could probably have taken out about 1/3 of these. So you can actually put one LED bulb in the fixture and burn it, unlike your fluorescent tubes where it relied on both of them being in there to burn bright. So each tube can be each tube. In this case, we went ahead and put 2 tubes back in every fixture. So we have a difference of what?
$230.
$230.
I didn't need the calculator for that one.
Spoken by the man that pays the bill. So, cost. So we had $230 we spent more on the replacement. In this case, we had no labor cost in this project
I'm gonna have
because,
to buy you a steak, aren't I?
okay, so we have a steak dinner in the cost. However, if you can't do this work yourself and you're hiring somebody to do it, you're gonna have to add that cost in to your payback, okay? But right now, what we're gonna say is, we're saving old versus new is 13.34 cents per hour. If we take our 13.34 cents and divide it into our $230 that we spent more on this project, it's going to take us,
1,700 hours.
okay, if you're working against a normal work year, which is 2,080 hours, then you're going to see that payback in less than a year, which is a surprising number. But the reason it's a surprising number is years ago when we were in these calculations, this cost was much, much lower. This cost was much, much higher. And you saw huge differentials in there of years, 3 to 5 years to pay back a project like this.
And the other thing was, when I built this place, I was paying under 7 cents a kilowatt hour too.
Exactly.
That extends that also.
Exactly. That cost per kilowatt hour, that 9.161 cents per kilowatt hour. So at 9.161 cents a kilowatt hour, that's a much higher rate than what it was years ago. Like Bud said, when he built the shop, he was paying less than 7. So the gist of it is, you have a really good payback on a project like this, especially if you're going to burn your lights 8 hours a day or more.
Now, the life of these lamps is much greater also.
Much greater, yes. I believe the rating on the new lamps we put in is 10,000 hours. So that 10,000 hours is 5 years instead of 2. So you're looking at 2.5 times the life. So if you're putting labor in here on top of this, that's, you don't have to do that labor every 2.5 times in the same lifespan. You're only going to do it one time.
And since you showed us how to do that, most of the time we could do it ourselves.
It is simple. You need to be safe. Again, turn the power off. Make sure your power's off. You can follow the instructions that we did. We're simply...
And you should not do this alone.
You should never do this alone.
You should have someone else here just in case the electricity is not off.
Well...
Or you fall.
Or you fall. Or you need something.
Not everybody's shop is this tall.
Right. But not everybody has a nice walking platform to work off of either, or a rolling platform to work off of either. Guys are going to do this off a step ladder. Again, be safe. Position your ladders flat. make sure that you basically follow all the safe work practices that you've learned through your whole life.
And what's another word for safety? Self-preservation.
Self-preservation is exactly right.
Folks, the reason we do this is so that you can do some of these projects yourself, so that you can save some money yourself, and that's part of the reason for this channel. Usually we're doing air compressor stuff, compressed air systems, but today we have the electric guru, and if you watched our April 1st episode, Electric Boy helping us out here, and he is going to sprout wings and go on the road again. He's got wanderlust. He's got a big old coach that he lives in, and he's going to sprout wings and fly again. But we are going to take full advantage of him over several episodes and glean all the knowledge we can out of him, especially for our compressor people. So like and subscribe and come back to that next episode. Thank you. God bless.
And the answer is?
Is this like a Jeopardy question? Are you ready? Do you have them things turned on?
I do.
Okay. Welcome back.
Yeah, except we're coming in the middle.
How about it? So, now that we have the lights installed, we're going to take some time and walk you back through the numbers on this project. So, our goal was to change the lights in the building, to do it as economically as possible, and save some money going forward. So, we're going to walk you through the real quick numbers on energy, on our project cost, and show you a little bit of savings on the tail end, which really makes it worthwhile because we really did get a lot more light out of this project. So, our old fluorescent fixtures, okay?
Focus on writing, focus the other camera in on the board.
Wait, this camera that I'm moving around is zeroed in more to there. This one has the big thing.
Okay.
You're going to plop a picture of this in here at some point, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I wanted you putting the numbers down.
Yep. Okay. So our old fluorescent tubes, and we'll go up here and call it a fluorescent tube. And those tubes, when installed, are 110 watts each. And we get 2 tubes per fixture. And in that fixture, we also have a ballast, which is part of the energy equation because the power goes to the ballast and then it goes to the fluorescent tubes. If you remember when we converted the fixtures, we cut that ballast out of there so it's gone. But that ballast is about 36 watts. So,
Question. Is that 36 watts per fixture?
per fixture.
Okay.
1 ballast, 2 tubes, 1 fixture. In our shop. Okay. So we got basically, 256 watts. When we turn on each fixture. And in our shop, we have 13 fixtures.
I like that, our shop.
Yeah. So doing the simple math, that's why they make calculators.
Oh, you want 256 times 13? Okay.
3328. And that's watts. And when you talk about the energy that you get billed for, you get billed in kilowatts. And that's basically 1,000 watts. So if we divide this by 1,000, we got 3.3 kilowatts. Okay? So the energy it used to take to burn the lights is the kilowatts times our kilowatt per hour charge. Now, if you look at your electric bill, it's going to tell you how much you pay per kilowatt hour, okay, kWh. And we'll show you a snippet of ours, but the cost per kilowatt hour in our area is going to sound rather cheap to some of you guys when you look at your bill, but it's 9.16 cents a kilowatt hour, okay? So if we take this times 9.61 cents, 161 cents, that's going to tell us how much it cost us to run these lights for an hour in the shop.
30.48. 7.
30.49
rounded up.
cents. So for every hour the lights are on in the shop, it costs us 30 cents. Are you good with that?
I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay.
I pay the bill, she doesn't care. But Eric, now that we have all new fluorescents in here, what's it gonna cost me now?
We have all new LEDs in here.
Or, oh yeah.
See, it's an LED bulb.
Back up. I'm sorry. But Eric, now that we have all new LED lamps in here, bulbs in here, tubes in here, what do I call them?
They're bulbs. Believe it
Now
or
that
not.
I have all new LED bulbs in here, what's it gonna cost me an hour now?
Well, first we got to figure out how much energy it takes us with the new fixtures in.
Okay,
So, with our LED bulbs,
May I ask a question?
yeah,
Could you stand so that I can videotape over your right shoulder now?
nope,
Okay,
I can't rotate that.
it's okay.
I'm just letting you know.
That's why I'm
it'll be
asking.
65 this
It's
year.
okay.
It really wasn't a preference.
I'm like, it looks like it's harder to do it that way. All right, I'm sorry. Pick a good place to start. We'll cut all that.
So when we look at our LED bulbs, okay, the new bulbs are 72 watts apiece. Yes, 72 watts apiece. And we have 2 of them in there. So that's 144 watts. All right, there is no ballast. Okay, the LED bulb that we replaced the fluorescent tube with, that bulb has its own power supply in it, so it's all part of the equation. So 72 watts is 72 watts. So now we're burning 144 watts per fixture. Times our 13 fixtures. Yields us
1.872 kW.
1.872 kilowatts. And we're paying the same for our energy. So we're going to take that times 9.161 cents.
And the answer is?
Is this like the Jeopardy program?
17.15.
17.15 cents per hour to run our lamps.
So let's take that. Let's talk about the overall cost next. Put it on the next board. Let's talk about the overall cost next and then go, well, how long is it going to take to pay for these lamps? Bulbs.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, if we've been shooting 10 minutes out,
Probably.
I'll tell you in just a
shut them
moment.
down, restart.
You've been 9.1.
Shut them down, restart.
That's our cost per kilowatt hour.
Close.